The metal cuffs dug into his wrists, the sting sharper than the camera flash that followed. 1 hour earlier, Nathan Rourke was a respected figure, the chief of the National Security Bureau. Now, in the heart of Asheville's International Terminal, he was just another man in custody. It had all started with a glance. Asheville was hot that evening, the kind of muggy heat that wrapped itself around you and refused to let go. After flying in from Phoenix, all Nathan wanted was his driver, a quiet car, and a strong espresso. His black Oxford shoes glided silently over the marble floor. No fanfare, no staff trailing behind. Just him, his dark navy blazer, and the slim titanium briefcase chained to his wrist. That case held clearance-level intelligence the average citizen couldn't dream of. As he passed gate C-19, he noticed them, two airport patrolmen near the vending machines. The younger one, Officer Durand, elbowed the older guy beside him. "Look at that suit. Somebody thinks they're important," Durand muttered. His partner, an ex-military type named Kane, grunted. "A little too tidy for a red-eye flight. Let's see what his deal is." Nathan didn't need to hear it. He caught the glance. The whisper. 3 decades in counterintelligence taught him how suspicion blooms. He stayed calm, predictable, calculated. They followed. "Excuse me, sir," Durand called out. "Traveling solo tonight?" Nathan stopped. He turned slowly. "Yes. Where are you headed?" He tilted his head slightly. "Is there a reason you're asking?" "You match a recent alert," Kane said, stepping closer. "Middle-aged black male, high-end clothing, briefcase, possibly carrying restricted materials." Nathan gave him a level look. "So, I matched the description of a government officer commuting home. Gonna need to check that case," Kane added, his voice firm. Nathan kept his grip tight. "You don't understand. I'm Nathan Rourke, Director, NSB. Durand smirked. "Got any proof?" Without a word, Nathan reached into his inner pocket and produced his ID, laminated, sealed, and undeniable. Durand didn't even reach for it. "Badges are easy to fake," Kane muttered, stepping closer. Phones were out now. Passengers had paused. A teenager with a skateboard. A woman holding a lapdog. The hum of curiosity was growing. "I'm not bluffing," Nathan said. "You're violating federal protocol. We'll take you in, verify everything at precinct," Kane shot back. Nathan clenched his jaw. "Then call the NSB liaison. Or your supervisor." They ignored him. Kane reached for the briefcase. "Back off," Nathan said. "You're not authorized." "Hands up," Durand barked, voice suddenly louder. "Now." They closed in. Nathan didn't resist, but he didn't assist either. He stood still, radiating control, even as his hands were wrenched behind his back. The briefcase hit the tile with a deep, metallic thunk. Dozens of cameras. No one moved to help. "You're making a mistake," Nathan said, his voice low and controlled. Durand snapped the cuffs closed. Kane leaned in. "You have the right to remain silent." Nathan cut him off, sharp and quiet. "You have no idea what you're doing. This is illegal detention of a senior federal officer on U.S. soil." Durand rolled his eyes. "We're keeping people safe. You're not cooperating." Nathan's stare was blade sharp. "I showed you who I was. I gave you credentials. You refused to verify. That's not security. That's negligence." They shoved him down onto a bench. Someone in the crowd shouted, "You really arresting him?" That only made things worse. More phones. More whispers. Kane finally glanced down at the badge he had ignored. The holograms. The embedded chip. His expression shifted. "Wait." Durand picked it up next. His eyes widened. Kane." Kane took it back. He examined the ID again, then looked up pale. "Where'd you get this?" Nathan didn't blink. "I earned it. 28 years of national security and crisis response. I trained people who probably trained you." A ripple of silence moved through the terminal. Durand looked toward the security desk. TSA agents were approaching. "You could have just told us," Durand tried. "I did," Nathan said, voice like frost. 5 minutes ago." A radio crackled. Kane's hand went to his belt. "All units, Gate C, Department of Homeland en route. Code 204. Durand's face drained. "What's 204? Kane didn't answer. The handcuffs came off. Sloppy. Embarrassed. Nathan stood slowly. The red imprints on his wrists burned, but he didn't react. You're going to want to stop calling me, sir, like that erases what you just did, Nathan said. When Kane offered the briefcase back, Nathan stared through him. That's classified. Don't touch it. At that moment, a calm but stern voice rang out from the crowd. An older man, clearly retired military, pointed. That's the director. I watched him address Congress 2 days ago. Moments later, Homeland agents arrived. Mr. Rourke, are you all right? The lead one asked. I'm fine, Nathan said, though his tone made it clear he wasn't. The agent turned on the officers, who restrained him. Kane tried to speak, but was silenced with a gesture. Body cam footage, all of it. And I want a federal oversight rep waiting for these two when they log off. The crowd didn't cheer, but they didn't look away either. Nathan picked up his briefcase, brushed it off, and locked the latch. Then he walked toward the exit, expression unreadable. Outside, a black vehicle waited. Agent Mina Ortega opened the door. Sir, any injuries? She asked, eyes flicking to the bruises. No, just tired. 3 videos are already trending, she said. It's going viral. Nathan stared out the window. Let trend. She glanced over. You want to respond? He nodded. Set the podium. I'll draft the statement myself. At 9 a.m. the next morning, he stood before the press at NSB headquarters. No notes. No teleprompter. Let's not dance around it, he began. You saw the video. I was cuffed. Dismissed. Ignored. Despite presenting credentials and cooperating fully. He let that hang before continuing. This isn't about me. It's about what people see or don't see when they look at someone like me. It's about perception and about how fragile power becomes when bias is in the room. He paused, letting the silence do its work. I don't want revenge. I want change. I want those officers in the system that trained them to learn, to adjust, to see differently. A reporter asked, do you think race was a factor? Nathan didn't hesitate. If I looked different, we wouldn't be here. Will you press charges? No, because what needs fixing is bigger than 2 badges. Later, he met with Kane and Durand privately. No cameras, no staff. He stood while they sat. You didn't see a man, Nathan said. You saw a variable, a problem, because I didn't look like someone you associate with power. He stepped closer. But power isn't a color or a style. It's responsibility. And when you carry that badge, you're expected to be better than your first impulse. Then he left them to reflect. Kane and Durand were pulled from duty. Durand quietly enrolled in a federal training initiative. Kane didn't. In the weeks that followed, the Department of Justice launched a sweeping overhaul of frontline protocol and bias training, personally authored by Nathan Rourke. Because this wasn't about vengeance. It was about consequence. In the end, it wasn't the handcuffs that left a mark. It was the silence that followed, the way eyes turned and truth surfaced. Nathan Rourke didn't demand retribution. He demanded recognition, not just for himself, but for every person misjudged by bias dressed as authority. His stand wasn't a performance. It was a reckoning. The system blinked, the cameras caught it, and change was no longer optional. When power speaks calmly and clearly, even injustice has to listen.